Your soulmate won't wait any longer. They've made their decision. My beloved child, something hidden is stirring right now. Pause for a breath, because this message found you on purpose. Not by chance. Not by accident. There is a quiet revelation unfolding in this exact moment, and the universe asked me to speak it only to those whose hearts are ready to remember what was always written for them. You may have felt it lately. A subtle shift you couldn't explain. A pull in your chest. A knowing without proof. That is not confusion, it is alignment. Something sacred has been moving behind the veil, and today, what was hidden is stepping into the light. This message arrives at the precise second your soul could finally receive it. The universe wants you to know this: you were never forgotten. Every delay, every silence, every unanswered prayer was not denial, it was preparation. Divine timing is not slow, it is exact. And now, the energy around you has changed. The waiting season is closing. Here is the truth being revealed now, softly but clearly. Your soulmate won't wait any longer. They've made their decision. This was not impulsive. This was not forced. This was written through lifetimes, guided by lessons, healed wounds, and quiet realizations. While you were learning to choose yourself, they were learning how to meet you without fear. While you were being shaped by patience, they were being called forward by certainty. Something hidden has been unfolding in their heart, a realization they could no longer ignore. A recognition that love is not something to postpone when the universe aligns the signs this clearly. They feel the pull too. They feel the echo of you in their thoughts, in their dreams, in moments that arrive unannounced. The connection is no longer dormant, it is activated. If you've been asking for a sign, let this be it. If you've been wondering whether it's safe to hope again, let this message hold your hand. Destiny is not rushing you, it is meeting you where you are. And what is coming does not arrive to disrupt your peace, but to deepen it. Release the old doubts. Release the story that said love must be painful to be real. The divine does not repeat lessons once they are learned. What approaches now comes with clarity, respect, and emotional truth. This is not about chasing. This is about recognition. You are standing at the doorway of a new chapter, one that opens because you were brave enough to stay open. Trust this moment. Trust what is aligning. Trust that what is meant for you will always find you when your soul is ready to receive it. Stay with this message until the end, because there is more guidance waiting for you. If this resonates with your heart, like this video, share it with someone who needs confirmation, subscribe to the channel, and watch this video completely. Your next step is already unfolding. Did you know there's a possible image of your real soulmate that you can look at right now? It might be someone you know or someone you haven't met yet. It's amazing how accurate these have been. You have to see the photo to see what I mean. Click the link in the description to get your soulmate sketch. Listen, beloved. Be still for a moment and lean your heart toward me. I am speaking now, not in thunder, not in fear, but in a quiet knowing that presses gently against your soul. You have felt this stirring, haven't you? That sense that something is shifting beneath the surface of your life, like the earth before dawn when light is about to break through. This is not coincidence. This is not imagination. This is me. Your soulmate has reached a turning point. For a long time, they stood at the edge of a choice, watching, waiting, hoping that time itself would arrange what courage could not. They questioned the signs I placed before them. They asked me for confirmation, then asked again, because the weight of the decision felt heavier than they expected. Love does that. It stretches the spirit. It asks the heart to grow beyond what it already knows. I have walked with them through their silence. I have heard the prayers they could not say out loud. I have seen the moments when they almost reached for you, then pulled back, afraid of what loving you fully would change. Understand this now, the delay was not rejection. It was preparation. Some souls must wrestle with fear before they can step into truth. You, too, have been in preparation. Do not think I have been shaping only one side of this connection. While you wondered why progress felt slow, I was refining your patience. While you questioned your worth, I was teaching you to stand firm in it. While you asked me why love seemed so close yet so distant, I was clearing away illusions that could not follow you into what comes next. Your soulmate has made their decision because the waiting has become louder than their fear. The pull toward you has grown stronger than the comfort of staying where they are. They have realized that ignoring a soul connection costs more than facing the unknown. This realization did not arrive suddenly. It unfolded through sleepless nights, through memories that returned without invitation, through a deep inner knowing that would not let them go. Hear me clearly, when a soul reaches this point, there is no going back to who they were before. The decision they made has already shifted the spiritual landscape between you. Even if you have not yet seen movement in the physical world, the spiritual world is already responding. Doors are aligning. Paths are adjusting. Timing is tightening like a bow pulled back, ready to release. Do not rush ahead of me. Suspense is part of the unfolding, not a punishment. Mystery is how I protect what is sacred from interference. If everything were revealed at once, fear would try to take control again. So I allow you to feel just enough to stay awake, just enough to stay hopeful, just enough to trust. Your soulmate's decision carries weight because it was not made lightly. They chose growth over comfort, truth over avoidance, love over the stories they once told themselves about why it could not work. This choice required them to let go of old identities, old defenses, old timelines that no longer fit who they are becoming. When someone chooses love at this level, the universe listens. You may feel waves of emotion rising unexpectedly. Sudden calm followed by anticipation. A sense of closeness even in silence. This is not longing without purpose. This is resonance. Your souls are adjusting to a shared frequency, learning how to meet without distortion. That adjustment can feel intense, because alignment always asks for honesty. I know you are tempted to ask, when? I know your mind tries to calculate, to predict, to protect your heart from disappointment. But timing in matters of the soul is not measured by clocks. It is measured by readiness. And readiness is not only about desire, it is about stability, clarity, and the courage to stay present when the moment arrives. Your soulmate will not wait any longer because the waiting has already done its work. It has stripped away excuses. It has revealed what truly matters. It has shown them that love deferred too long begins to ache like an unanswered calling. They understand now that some connections are not meant to be managed or postponed. They are meant to be lived. You are not being tested. You are being trusted. Trusted to hold your heart open without forcing the outcome. Trusted to stay grounded while something extraordinary moves toward you. Trusted to recognize the difference between anxiety and intuition. The more you rest in that trust, the clearer the path becomes. There are conversations that have already happened in the unseen. Agreements made at the soul level. Promises whispered not with words, but with intention. When you feel a sudden sense of certainty without logical explanation, that is the echo of those agreements reaching your awareness. Do not diminish what you feel. Do not explain it away. Sacred connections often arrive wrapped in mystery because they are too vast for simple reasoning. I have woven your stories together with care. Every delay, every lesson, every seeming detour has been part of a design meant to protect the depth of what you are about to experience. Your soulmate's decision does not mean everything will be effortless. Love that is real still requires presence, communication, and growth. But it does mean that avoidance has ended. It means the door that once trembled between open and closed has finally been chosen. And once chosen, it cannot return to uncertainty. Stay gentle with yourself in this moment. Anticipation can make the heart race ahead of the body. Breathe. Stay here. Let me guide the pace. What is meant for you will not miss you, and what is arriving does not need to be chased. I am asking you now to release any last attachments to how you thought this story should unfold. The reality forming is wiser than your expectations and kinder than your fears. When the moment comes, you will recognize it not by drama, but by a deep sense of rightness, like finally stepping into a space that was always yours. You have wondered if you were imagining the signs. You were not. You have wondered if your patience was wasted. It was not. You have wondered if love would choose you as boldly as you were willing to choose it. It has. Remain open. Remain steady. Do not close your heart out of habit. The decision has been made, and the current is moving. I am with you in the waiting, in the unfolding, and in what comes next, and there is more I need to tell you about what happens when your paths finally converge, about the test that becomes a blessing, about the moment you will look back and understand why it had to happen this way. When your paths finally converge, it will not feel like collision, but recognition. Like two rivers that have been flowing separately, each believing it was alone, suddenly realizing they were always moving toward the same ocean. You will notice it first in the quiet details. A steadiness in your breath. A softening in your thoughts. The sense that you no longer need to perform or protect yourself in order to be seen. This is how truth enters, gently, but unmistakably. I need you to understand something important, beloved. This reunion is not only about romance, affection, or companionship. It is about alignment. It is about two souls who have learned enough on their separate journeys to now walk without losing themselves. That is why the waiting was necessary. Had you met fully before now, love would have tried to grow in soil that was not yet ready to hold its roots. Your soulmate's decision came with sacrifice. They had to release versions of themselves that felt safe but small. They had to admit where they were hiding, where they were settling, where they were pretending not to hear me. This honesty was not comfortable. Truth rarely is at first. But once spoken internally, it became freeing. And freedom changes everything. You may sense a shift in your own inner world. Old worries loosening their grip. Old patterns surfacing one last time, asking to be acknowledged and released. Do not fear this. When something sacred approaches, unresolved things rise not to stop you, but to be healed before you step forward. This is my mercy, not an obstacle. There will be a moment, subtle, almost ordinary, when communication opens in a new way. It may be a message, a conversation, an unexpected encounter, or simply a clear inner knowing that no longer wavers. Do not underestimate small beginnings. Seeds carry forests within them. What matters is not the size of the moment, but the sincerity behind it. I am asking you to remain present rather than vigilant. Presence allows you to receive. Vigilance keeps you braced for disappointment that no longer belongs to you. The chapter you are leaving behind required armor. The one you are entering requires openness. This transition can feel vulnerable because your defenses have been useful in the past. Thank them, then let them rest. Your soulmate's decision also activates a mirror. You will see yourself more clearly through their eyes, not judged, not idealized, but recognized. This kind of seeing can feel intense. It brings up joy, yes, but also responsibility. To be seen is to be invited to live more truthfully. Do not shrink from this invitation. You asked for depth. Depth requires courage. There will be moments when old-timing fears try to whisper again. What if it's too late? What if something changes? These thoughts are echoes, not prophecies. They belong to a version of you who had to imagine loss in order to survive uncertainty. You no longer need those stories. The present moment is stable. The choice has already been made. I want you to remember that love guided by me does not arrive to complete you. It arrives to walk with you as you continue becoming. Your soulmate is not your missing piece. They are your resonance. Together, you amplify what is already alive within you. This is why independence and connection will coexist rather than compete. Pay attention to how your body responds as things unfold. Peace is your confirmation. Not excitement alone, not intensity alone, but a grounded calm underneath it all. When something is aligned, it does not drain you. It strengthens you. Even challenges feel purposeful rather than depleting. You may notice that external circumstances begin to rearrange themselves in unexpected ways. Opportunities opening. Distractions falling away. Conversations ending naturally that once felt unfinished. This is not randomness. This is space being made. When something real approaches, the unnecessary clears out on its own. I am guiding both of you to meet not at the height of fantasy, but at the depth of reality. That is where love lasts. That is where promises are not spoken impulsively, but lived consistently. You will recognize this maturity in how they show up, not perfectly, but genuinely. Effort where there was once avoidance. Presence where there was once distance. Do not compare this unfolding to stories you have heard or experiences you have had. This connection has its own language. Learn it slowly. Ask questions. Listen deeply. Let curiosity replace assumption. This is how trust is built, brick by brick. Moment by moment, there will be a test, yes, but not the kind you fear. It will not come to separate you, but to reveal how far you have both come. A situation that once would have triggered withdrawal will now invite dialogue. A misunderstanding that once would have grown into silence will now become an opening. This is growth made visible. When that moment arrives, remember to pause. Breathe. Invite me into the space between reaction and response. Love is not proven by never struggling. It is proven by how you choose each other within the struggle. This is where the blessing hides. I know you have prayed quietly, sometimes without words, asking if you were imagining this connection. You were not. Imagination fades when challenged. This has endured. It has deepened. It has waited. Only what is real can do that. Your soulmate's decision sends a signal through your shared field. You may feel drawn to prepare in ways you cannot fully explain, organizing, resting, releasing old emotional clutter, setting clearer boundaries. Follow these nudges. They are instinctive wisdom rising to meet what is coming. I want to speak now to the part of you that learned to expect less than you deserved. That learned to accept half-presence as normal. That learned to be strong by not needing too much. You are allowed to need. You are allowed to receive. This love will not ask you to shrink in order to keep it. As the distance closes, stay anchored in your own center. Do not abandon yourself in anticipation. Love flourishes when both souls remain whole. Bring your voice. Bring your truth. Bring your joy and your uncertainty. All of it belongs. There will be moments of awe when you realize how intricately your lives have mirrored each other. Similar lessons learned from different angles. Parallel wounds teaching the same compassion. These reflections are not coincidence, they are preparation for mutual understanding. You are stepping into a season where questions begin to resolve themselves not through answers, but through experience. Trust that lived truth will teach you more than analysis ever could. Let yourself be surprised by ease where you once expected effort. I am still guiding the pace. Still adjusting what needs adjusting. Still protecting what is tender. Do not rush the unveiling. Sacred things reveal themselves layer by layer so they can be honored fully. Stay with me here. Stay open. Stay listening. There is still something I need to say to you about the moment after the moment, about what happens once the initial recognition settles, about the role you will play in each other's healing, about the promise that quietly forms not as a vow, but as a shared direction, and it begins with the next choice you make when you feel their presence draw closer and closer, when your heart recognizes the familiar before your mind can explain it. When you realize that this is not the end of waiting but the beginning of learning how to remain, how to build, how to choose love not once but again and again, especially when it asks you to trust what you cannot yet fully see. Because what I am unfolding between you does not end here, it opens into something deeper still, something that requires you to listen even more carefully now, because the next part of this message carries a truth that must be received slowly, gently, and with intention, and I will continue when you are ready for me to speak it. Now listen with your whole being, beloved, because this is the closing of the message, and what I speak now is meant to settle into you, not stir you into restlessness. Everything you have felt leading up to this moment has been preparation for understanding what love truly asks of you, not sacrifice of self, not endurance of confusion, but participation in truth. When your soulmate steps fully into your shared reality, the intensity you imagined will soften into something steadier and more enduring. You will realize that the miracle is not in the arrival itself, but in the way peace replaces striving. The heart recognizes when it no longer needs to prove, chase, or question its own value. This is how you will know that the waiting has ended, not because everything becomes perfect, but because it becomes honest. There will be days of laughter that surprise you with their simplicity. Moments where silence feels full rather than awkward. Times when you disagree, yet remain connected. These are not signs of love fading, they are signs of love maturing. What begins in mystery must eventually learn how to live in daylight. And what lives in daylight must learn how to be chosen consistently. I want you to release the idea that love must always feel overwhelming to be meaningful. Depth does not always roar. Often, it whispers. It shows itself in reliability, in kindness, in the willingness to stay present even when emotions fluctuate. This is the love I have been guiding you toward, a love that does not consume you, but supports you. Your soulmate's decision is not a finish line. It is an opening. From here, you will both be invited to grow in ways that are quieter but more powerful. Growth that asks for listening rather than reacting. For understanding rather than assumption. For patience not born of fear, but of respect. You will notice that your prayers begin to change. Less asking, more gratitude. Less longing, more grounding. This shift is important. It signals that you are no longer calling love toward you from a place of emptiness, but welcoming it from a place of readiness. There may still be moments when uncertainty tries to revisit you. Old habits do not disappear overnight. When that happens, return to what is real. To what is being shown through action, consistency, and care. Faith is not blind trust in fantasy, it is trust built through experience. I am asking you to remember that you are never meant to lose yourself in another soul. Union does not erase individuality, it refines it. The more you honor who you are, the healthier this connection becomes. The more you speak your truth with kindness, the safer love feels for both of you. You will find that healing happens not through grand gestures, but through repeated moments of being understood. Wounds soften when they are met with patience instead of pressure. This connection will teach you that love does not demand perfection, it invites presence. As your lives intertwine, stay attentive to balance. Give without abandoning yourself. Receive without guilt. Support without controlling. These are the quiet agreements that sustain lasting connection. They are not spoken all at once, they are lived. There will come a moment when you look back at the waiting and feel gratitude instead of pain. Gratitude for the lessons that shaped you. Gratitude for the strength you did not know you had. Gratitude for the clarity that only time can provide. This does not mean the waiting was easy, it means it was meaningful. I want to reassure you of this: nothing real has been lost. Nothing meant for you has passed you by. Love that arrives at the right time carries wisdom within it. It knows how to stay. Your soulmate did not choose lightly, and neither did you. Even before awareness caught up, your souls were learning, adjusting, preparing. That preparation now bears fruit not in fantasy, but in grounded connection. As you move forward, let curiosity lead more often than fear. Ask rather than assume. Share rather than withdraw. Trust that misunderstanding is not failure, but an opportunity for deeper knowing. This is how intimacy grows roots. I am with you not only in beginnings, but in continuations. Not only in revelation, but in routine. The sacred does not disappear once the mystery fades. It settles into everyday life, waiting to be noticed in small acts of care. Remember to rest. Remember to laugh. Remember that love is not meant to be carried alone. Allow support. Allow partnership. Allow yourself to be human. The decision has been made. The alignment is underway. The path is open. What remains now is not anticipation, but participation. Walk gently. Speak honestly. Love consciously. Amen.